years ago. How come it's this movie? It seems a little too, to go all full conspiracy theory, it seems a little too easy to blame the current boogeyman, which is North Korea. And it just seems like this might be an inside job, maybe a disgruntled employee, maybe a competitor movie.
Well, except for that, there's evidence out there that about all of the technological ways that I don't quite understand, things being traced through China, DNS spoofing, I mean, all sorts of things that are able to be traced to North Korea. And the fact of the matter is this guy, the current leader, is younger and probably more aware of these things and interested in international, appearances maybe than his father was.
I don't know. Kim Jong-un isn't really technologically with it. I think he had a Zune media player.
Well, he probably has people working for him, though, that are making cases that this is important. They're assassinating you in this movie, and we need to do something about it.
But like I said, and I'm proud to be a South Korean, where at least I know I'm not a douche.
There you have it.
There we go. On that note, we got to take a break. Claire-vs-Carlson Show will be RB.
Hello? For daily conversations with the players, coaches, and contributors that make this game great.
Regulators, mount up! We're coming!
Football Convos. Visit footballconvos.com or visit us at iTunes.
And coming back for segment 2 of the Claire-vs-Carlson Show, the final CVC of 2014 and all that good stuff. Claire, your New Year's resolutions, how many did you follow through on this year?
I don't do New Year's resolutions. If something needs to be changed, I just change it when it needs to be changed.
Well, you quit smoking, kind of.
Well, recently, yeah, but that wasn't New Year's. That was just because it was time to quit smoking.
And you quit not eating meat, so that's exciting as well.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Well, so before we dive into segment 2, like, how did this all come about? How come you're a born-again normal human being instead of a vegetarian who are not people?
Well, I was just a vegetarian in college and for a few years after because I was very concerned, well, I still am, with the rights of everything, but animals. It makes me sad. I knew too much about how animals are treated in captivity before we kill them and eat them. So it bothered me. I didn't want to be a part of that industry. But, of course, I still ate cheese and eggs and milk and that sort of thing. So,
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. We're pulling on their teats and then we're stealing their unfertilized embryos.
It's better than just torturing them and then killing them and eating them. At least it was in my very young mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever.
I actually almost went vegetarian a couple years ago after watching a bunch of those documentaries like Food Inc. and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's smarter to be very careful about where your food comes from. You don't necessarily have to rule everything out. Just be aware.
On that very happy note, let's get to the 2014's biggest sports stories. Now, we made our own top 10 because the top 10s that we found out there were crap. Well, not crap, but very localized, and we already talked about the whole slideshow thing that kind of pissed me off. So number 10 on the Claire-vs-Carlson Show, biggest sports stories of 2014. Northwestern football players unionize, and this after the National Labor Relations Board decided that players are school employees and can unionize. The team voted to do so, but that's all been in kind of limbo, and that's been a big step in players possibly getting paid. Claire.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited when the story happened just because I like social upheaval, things that change the system or could change the system when they seem unfair. And, the whole universities making millions off of student athletes who put themselves out there, potential risk for injury, no financial gain that is public knowledge. It just seemed kind of cool. And so I think are we waiting to still hear oral arguments on this and the timing of the final decision?
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with it, and who knows at this
Yeah.
point. I do believe that private schools will have that capability, but state schools, I don't know yet.
Well, and from what I understand, a lot more football players are insuring themselves at the college level in case, at least so if they are injured and they can't go on to the next level when they were anticipated to do so, they can, receive some sort of benefit for the effort they put in at the college level.
And speaking of effort, if you hear Claire puffing, that's her e-cig. And what's the flavor today?
Banana cream pie.
So imagine Claire in a smoky jazz club just puffing on the e-cig, and then you walk up to her and she's like, "What's up, big boy?" And you're like, "Is that banana cream pie?"
And I'm like, yeah.
Smells of Baker Square in here.
What's a Baker Square?
Damn it, yeah. I was trying to go for a national, like a pie and restaurant chain, except Baker Square is probably regional. Am I right?
Well, I don't know that I've ever heard of it, but there are things I haven't heard of, so what else?
Number 9 of the biggest sports stories, 2014 Claire-vs-Carlson version. Tony Stewart kills Kevin Ward Jr. on a sprint car dirt track in upstate New York. No formal charges, or no criminal charges, were filed against Tony Stewart. Civil action could be pending, but it's just a very sad and weird story to come out during the summer.
Yeah, I remember just being on Twitter that night and
so many hot
thing
takes
coming out.
All the hot takes.
So many. And everyone knew exactly what happened there at this little track in Canada. And, they knew all the details and they made their judgments.
Yeah,
was it? I thought it was in Canada.
No, I believe it was Ontario County in New York, so that's where it might have got confusing.
My bad.
Yeah. And
okay, my bad.
I was guilty of a couple of hot takes as well, as everyone seems to get their Twitter lawyer degrees very quickly here. But overall, just there's probably fault on both sides. And Ward was high at the time on weed and just made bad judgment charging a moving vehicle.
Did you just say he was high on weed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was. I believe he was legally intoxicated.
How about we just say he was stoned?
Under the influence. There you go. Yeah, he was stoned. And then he did come down the track and charge a moving vehicle. So it's just a sad story all the way around, and we'll see how that all plays out later on. Number 8, a little bit happier one. I'm coming home. LeBron's coming home.
That was
Cleveland.
Only number 8?
Number 8, yes.
Oh.
Mostly because it happened a while ago, and I don't really care anymore.
Oh, okay.
But that was so awesome when it did happen. As LeBron is from Akron. It's not Cleveland, but Akron is basically like the Fort Worth to Cleveland's Dallas, and just showing that all the vitriol. Yeah, it's like comparing it.
You compare Dallas and Cleveland, which is awesome.
Dun.
Because I hate them both. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That seems good.
But the vitriol and hatred that when LeBron left to go to Miami, there was there. It was just so heartwarming in a way that LeBron can come back after he got his rings and hopefully finally bring a title to Cleveland, because I don't think they've had a championship in any of the major sports since ever.
Did the Indians ever win anything?
I don't know.
Me either. I don't really
think the
care.
Browns might have won like a championship when there was like 6 teams in the league. Like the Akron Pros and the Canton Bulldogs were in the league, something like that.
Yeah. The Indians won the World Series in 1920 and 1948.
Happy days on the Cuyahoga. So that was number 8. Number 7, players protesting. The Rams with the Ferguson Hands Up Don't Shoot. NBA players with the I Can't Breathe t-shirts. Andrew Hawkins protesting the Ohio shooting of the 12-year-old with the pellet gun. And it's significant in that players usually don't take a political stance, and I always go back and forth on this. I know that there's a time and place for it, but I kind of respect them taking a stance for what they believe in rather than the whole cliched player speak fence sitting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, because underneath it all, they may be highly paid idols to many people, but they are just human beings who are allowed to have opinions on things that affect society on the whole. And there are times where, I can't think of a good example, but players taking a stand against disease or domestic violence or whatever else. And this is a societal ill, and they are very influential. And if they can bring awareness to the cause and to the situation, then good for them for doing so. Whether you think it's right or wrong, good for them for making their opinions known to the rest of society.
I agree, because I respect them for this, but I can see both sides of it where, I respect them for saying, their piece here, but also Michael Jordan has a famous quote where he's like, how come you don't talk about politics? He was asked, and he replied, because Republicans buy shoes too. And I can understand the whole, if you are a global brand, keeping everyone happy, sitting on the fence. But I don't know, I always go back and forth on this issue.
Yeah, well, I have no problem with it. I mean, if you want to talk about your political leanings, by all means, feel free to do so. If I don't like it, I don't have to pay attention to it.
And then I also understand people saying, do sports. You're a sports person, do sports. And
well, as long as you're doing sports along with it, then what the hell is the problem?
I don't know. They pull that with players and also radio personalities as well, and I don't know. That's all convoluted. We'll move on to the number 6, Claire versus Carlson Show 2014 biggest sports story of the year. Monet Davis, first girl to win a Little League World Series start as a pitcher. That Philadelphia area team, Rockstars Baby, was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and all that cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool when it happened. This young girl basically becomes a national sports treasure in a very short period of time. And she's on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and she's being talked about in terms of the Sports Illustrated curse, which is unfortunate. But
yeah, she got rocked by Las Vegas. But in fairness, that Las Vegas team is stacked. Those kids did not look 14.
I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention. I'll be real honest.
And of course, NCAA being NCAA, Monet was saying that her dream is to play basketball at UConn, and then the NCAA come in saying, well, these might be impermissible benefits, so this could affect her college eligibility. Spare me. I hate the NCAA.
Totally.
Number 5, 2014 World Cup. Germany wins it, beats Argentina 1-0 after boat racing Brazil 7-1 in the semifinals. This was a big deal, even to Americans, where the American team did okay, probably not as well as they really wanted to. Jurgen Klinsmann, Landon Donovan was not on the team. Josie Altidore got hurt. I'm just trying to remember all these bits and pieces.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least we can not pay attention to soccer for 4 more years.
I'm not going to lie, though. It is kind of fun. It might just be the whole USA patriotic stuff way down deep inside, but
I think that's what it is.
It was interesting.
I think that's what it is for most people, because it's like the Olympics. You don't care about swimming unless an American is trying to beat a Russian and get a gold medal. Do you? I mean, most people don't. It's kind of like soccer in America. I mean, yeah, it's great, and the best of the best are a lot of fun to watch, but soccer MLS or whatever, come on, man. That's boring.
Oh, come on. You don't like the Houston Dynamo?
I tried. I really did try. I've been to a few games or matches, whatever, and it's just not as entertaining as the big 3 or 4, including hockey. It's just not.
I suppose. Someone else who's not in the big 4 anymore, Donald Sterling. He gone.
Yeah, well, that needed to happen. Yeah. I mean, I know that there was a bit of controversy from people who I greatly respect upon his, civil rights, I guess, kind of being violated, and that these private conversations came out, and are you not allowed to have opinions in America?
In the privacy of your own home, yes.
Right. So that is a little trouble.